Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome back to another Minecraft episode on the AlphaCraft server. You left me the other day after just finishing the shulker loading system. And it's all done and everything. It's filling up nicely. And a few of you mentioned in the comments that I had forgot to put in the light, or I'd put the chest in where the light went. Well, I put the light up the top there rather than down the bottom. I just moved it up. Really? Oh, you can't see it. Can you see it that side? You can't really see it that side. Can you see it this side? Oh, yeah, you can see it. So it was going to go there. It's now gone there. Okay, so it was going to go there. It's now gone there. Anyway, it's there, and the chests are nearly full, and everything is working a treat. What I want to do at the start of today's episode, we've got a couple of things I want to do today. I've got to go to spawn again. I've got to turn 2 of my villagers into little zombie dudes. I don't know which one it's going to be yet. Which one of you is it going to be? Which one of you is going to be the lucky one? I don't know yet. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo on that one. And I want to... I've done a lot of work over... We might be able to see it before it gets too dark. I've done a lot of work over there getting rid of all of the river. There was a river that ran around, and I mentioned it in the very, is it the 2nd or 3rd episode? That river comes from there, it comes down there, it went around there, and it went off all the way over there. Well, I filled a lot of it in, a lot of sand, filled a lot of it in, but I'm going to turn that little bit there into a kelp farm and an ink farm, because squid are spawning in there, so it would be remiss of me not to use it. So I can do both farms together, just in there. So I've got a little bit more of the river to fill in there with some sand, a little bit more past that, and then I'm going to divert the river from there around to there. I'll show you better. It would be easier to show you later when I'm down that way. Oh, my ankles. So I've got my gear for that, but what I want to do first, I've only got 2 golden apples. I had 2 golden apples. I have 2 golden apples, and I've managed to get myself a couple of splash potions of weakness. And the other day, I don't know where they come from, but the other day, oh, that's probably where they come from. A dirty big dark spot. But the other day, I came out of AFKing because I AFK over there, and I came out, and there was a zombie just stood here, looking at this dude. Yeah, it was, wasn't he? And you were all scared and everything. I know you were. So anyway, I whacked him, which made him a little bit angry, and then I made him follow me into here. There he is, and he dropped down there. I ran down the other end and ran out of my trapdoors, which I'll show you now. I'll show you now. Show you now because I can. Hello, mate. And because my villagers up there sell name tags, I called him Zombie Baby. Because I said to Bunny, what should I call this zombie baby? She said, call it Zombie Baby. Oh, why did you do that? Why? Why? There was just no need for that. Anyway, it's Zombie Baby. And he carries things, and he's now got a name tag. So if I choose one of you, what do I really need more than anything? What will I use more than anything? I've just broken one of my picks, in fairness. I'll do my Silk Touch dude, and I'll do my Efficiency dude. If I get both of you, you've got a treat coming. You have an absolute treat. So if I whip those guys down, get them changed over, and hopefully I can sort them out, they'll give me some decent trades, won't you? Because I'll cure you and everything. So if I do that, I'm hoping the old zombie baby will get to work. I might as well do you as well. I know, look, you're all excited to meet him, aren't you? Where is he? Come on, oi! Doofus! Yeah, come on, down here. Yay, you found him. Excellent. Hello, boys. How you doing? Hey, that's beautiful, that is. So I've got my apple. Got my potions. I'm hoping if I throw the one in the middle, it'll get both of them. Did it get you? Did it get you? It did indeed. So now I'm just going to sit back and relax. Excellent. That was pretty cool. Right, have you got them cheap now, have you? They're cheaper. They're not one diamond cheap, one emerald cheap, but they're cheaper. And you're very welcome, by the way. Glad I could help. Alright. Put my stuff back on again. Bunny's got a present for me for later. We might go around and see Bunny because I've got a couple of her shulkers and she's got something for me. But what we're going to do now then is let me put that potion back. I don't need it. Put you back into there. Bit of wood, got my bed because I'm going to need my bed down there. I probably need a couple of shulkers actually because I've got a lot of smooth stone which you have to cook. And I didn't realise that. I thought I could just stick them all in a crafting bench and make them, but I can't. So I have to cook them. And to cook them, I made a bit of a... There you go, I can't talk and concentrate at the same time. I made a bit of a smelting area through here. What's that? Oh yeah, it's my stone box. So I made a little smelting area here with my smooth stone in it. I can turn that off now and take that off the top. Lovely. And that worked a treat and got myself a loads of smooth stone, which is all there. So I'm going to use that to line the pool, the pond. Because we're in the desert, it's got to be sandy, hasn't it? Okay. So I guess we should run off and make a start. I'm going to be using a flying machine to harvest the kelp. It's a pretty standard flying machine setup. And in fairness, there are going to be 2 flying machines in there because the river is pretty wide. Because of all of the time I've spent in here as well, I got an advancement which was living underwater for 3 days or something. And so I got I got Respiration 3, a Respiration 3 book, which I put on this. Very expensive, but I got it on there. And that will allow me to stay under here for even longer, which is perfect. And you can see I've got squid in here. But why don't dolphins eat salmon? That would be pretty cool. Anyway, so it's going to go here. These are my flying machines, or they will be. So they're both going to be this wide. They're both going to go left to right, and then all the stuff, all of the kelp is going to flow via flowing water across the top, across the top, across the top, across the top, into here, into some hoppers that are here, and then it's going to be taken away into a storage system, which I still haven't built yet. GG Spiderweb Ninja. Okay, so the first job the first job is to rip out all of these sandy walls and to put in my smooth stone. Look who I've just spotted. Hello, dude. How are you? Oi, I'm talking to you. What have you got today? Whose head have you got? You've got Marky Sparky Cam's head. I don't think I want Marky Sparky Cam's head. You got a nice pick, though, for 3 bits of glass. Wait there. Oh, no, don't. Hey, it's been spat at. Was that being spat at, was it? Yeah, cool. Hello, mate. Look what I've got for you. Just what you wanted. Thank you very much. Notice, have you got anything? Anything good? Podzol? I don't need it. Nice doing business with you, sir. Now, can you go? Well, I thought I had enough smooth stone to do all of this, and clearly I do not. So it's back to base and back to get some more smooth stone, smooth sandstone. Okay. So we finally put the walls in and everything, and I didn't realise until late, until I'd finished covering most of the floor, that the top of sandstone blocks is exactly the same as the top of smooth sandstone blocks. So I could have saved myself a lot of time and a lot of lava putting the floor in if I'd have just put in sandstone rather than cooking it first. But anyway, it's done now. It's done, and that's that. And these guys are everywhere. Oh, thank you, mate. Have you got one of those for me? Did you want one? Did he? Of course he didn't. Hey ho. Anyway, so that's done. So now it's time to start putting in the mechanism. So if we put kelp along all of the floor here, and then I can have the flying machine flying from that level, and if I have it sunken into the wall as well, then all of this area will be. It's going to be a lot of kelp. I'm probably only going to need to run it once. Don't know this work, and I'm probably I was thinking about putting a timer on it, putting a daylight sensor on it, or something. But there's really no point. You know, there will be so much kelp that I could probably run it once, and then when I start to run out, I can come back, press a button, and run it again. There's a little point having it running non-stop because I'm just going to fill up the system and break it. So I'm not going to do that. That's to fill it up. That's my redstone box. Shall we take you down there? Yep. So I need that, I need that, I need them, I need all my furnaces to start with. I'm going to need those, some of those, maybe some of those, maybe one of those. Yeah, that'll do. Oh my word. So if I'll make it here to start with. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's wrong. Shall we use smooth stone? I can't use smooth stone because I don't have any. I'm going to have to use. I'll use this and then change it. I could really go and get myself a conduit. Can't be bothered. Right there. My word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it 8? I can't remember now. So here, for example, all of this is going to be embedded into the wall when it comes back. When all of this, the mechanism comes back, so I'm going to be in the wall. So all of that, and all of that are going to have to be immovable objects. Normally I'd have used glazed terracotta. Just looks a little bit nicer. However, I don't have it. And furnaces are very cheap. And nobody's going to be in here anyway, so it's not as if people are going to be looking. Excellent. So when that goes into the wall now, it's not going to stick to anything, which is perfect, because now I think we'll stick on the mechanism that is going to move the flying machine about. Now, in the past, I've been putting the mechanism at the bottom. To me, it looked tidier at the bottom, but then I realised that if I put it at the bottom, I couldn't put kelp on the floor. So it sort of restricted the amount of kelp I could get. So now I'm just going to stick it on the top. It doesn't look as nice. I don't like it as much, but it's better for the production of kelp. Before I do that, though, I want to put down an immovable object here to stop this from just flying off the other way. Right, so now I need an observer facing down there, and I need one facing down. No, I don't need it there at all, Frills. Some kind of Egypt. Need it facing down there. Need it facing down there. See you later, Dibs, mate. Okay, now that is, on a very basic level, a flying machine. So if I break the blocks now up here, okay, I wasn't expecting that. It's because, of course it is. It's because when I remove this block, it's updating the observer, but then straight away the gap that's left there is updating the observer again, and that's causing it to double fire. Of course it is. Frill, you Egypt. I need something else on there. This is gonna break again. I knew that. We knew that. All right. So let's do that. That, and that. Get rid of you. Okay, so that's that. Obvious when you think about it, really. Obvious. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that look pretty there. I'm going to put this mechanism over there, like you do. And then I'm probably going to have to put a return down the other end. So I'll do that. So we've got both the mechanisms working there. They're in the wall there, and we've got the return at the other end, which is exactly the same as over here. So if I hit the no block, they're just going to go down the other end. They're going to stop because I've not put the return on the other end yet, which I'll do in a second. But here, all I'm going to do, I've made a little room here for me to swim down into. Oh, hello, mate. Crikey. You all right there, buddy? Find the life at me then. Meow. Makes such a great noise. What I'm going to do now is just stick a little bit of redstone on there. That can't be open. In fairness, if that's open, when the kelp grows, it's going to turn into a source block, and that's just going to flood the area. So I'm going to have to fill that in. But there's going to be probably, I'm just going to stick a repeater just there. I mean, it really is nothing special. If I stick a repeater there, and then I put a repeater over here behind the back of that one, and just link them both, link both of those to a bit of a redstone line to here, and I'll put a button, or probably just stick a button there. I could press a button, it's going to whiz down the other end, it's going to hit the return, it's going to come back, all of the kelp's going to get broken. So we've got that in. I put a button there, like I said I would. Bit of redstone comes down to here. I've left this open just so we can have a look at it. I'm probably going to fill all of this back in again. But it goes into that block there, which has got a repeater on the other side of it. That's connected to the note block. Carries on down here up to that block, which has got a repeater there, connected to the note block. So when I press the button, the mechanism should start working. Perfect. That's excellent. So it'll go down the end. It'll hit a return. I've not done that yet, but I'll do that in a second. But I just wanted to show you that. So I'll fill this in and then I'll put the return in. Hello, fellas. Right, to put the return mechanism, very simple. Just need to hook up some kind of observer to that note block, which is pretty simple. That is the piston that I want to put the observer against. So when that piston there hits that observer, it's going to give off a redstone signal, and we just need to hook that up to there. But there needs to be a bit of a delay. If it's too quick, it will double fire like the one down the other end, and that will cause the flying machine to break. But I can do that just using a repeater. If we have a bit of redstone coming from there onto there onto there, and have a repeater there on 4 ticks, by the time that signal goes from there up to the repeater and fires that, hello Indy, how are you, mate? Then that will give it enough time, and that will just, and it works. It'll work. And I need to do the same down here. Sorry, mate, did that hurt? I'm sorry. Right, so now if I press that, should go down the other end, and we'll wait a minute. Obviously all the kelp is going to be breaking now. There's going to be kelp everywhere. Kelp for days. And we'll just wait for it to come back. Brilliant, that seems to be working just fine, doesn't it? So now I need to go and get myself a lot of ice for the top. Hello, fella. Can you come in here? Do you want to come in? No. No? Ah, sorry. Finger slipped. Sorry, finger slipped. Right, so when all of the kelp floats to the top here, I need running water from here all the way to the other side. Now, as far as I know, the only way I know how to do that anyway is to put a layer of ice underneath here, and then put the flame water on the top of it and then melt the ice. But the problem with that is that if a piece of kelp at the bottom here grows all the way up to the top, I don't know how many blocks actually it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15. It's only 15 blocks. If it was 25 blocks high, it wouldn't be a problem because kelp, I think, only grows 24 blocks. But because it's only 15 and kelp grows quite quickly, if the kelp grows up into the flowing water, it'll turn it into a source block, and that's going to break my farm. And also, it'll cause no end of trouble having to fix it. It's not an easy fix to do that. So in order to stop that from happening, I'm going to be putting signs all the way along this level. So the kelp, when it's broken, will go through the signs and into the flowing water, but the kelp, while it's growing, won't go above the sign. So this is a very, very painstaking way to do it. I don't know, but tell me in the comments, guys, if you know of a better way of doing this, then please, I'm all ears. But by the time you read this, obviously, it will be done anyway, but at least I'll know for next time. So I need to go back to spawn, because I know we've got an ice field not far away from spawn. I don't think there's one anywhere around here. So we'll go back to there with a shulker, and I'll bring myself back some ice. So I'm back with the ice, and now it's time to start filling it all in. So I'll fill it in a level below, down there. and then I'm going to have to drain all the top and then put the flowing water in. So this is going to be fun. Okay, so I've got that done, and I've had to remove my beacon in the middle because it was too bright. It was melting the ice. So that's all this done. Now I've got to drain all of this, drain all the water out of this. Sponges would have been nice, but I haven't raided an ocean monument yet, so it's going to have to be good old sand. Okay. I'm going to leave the first row. Actually, I could leave the first row and then the 8th because I'm going to need those anyway. So that saved me a little bit of sand. Okay, so that's done. Now on the 8th one, on this one, I'm going to be putting down some fence gates because fence gates will allow items to pass through it, but it won't allow the water to pass through it. And I don't really want to use signs. I could use signs all the way down there, but if you use signs and you break one of them halfway down, the rest of them will break as well. So it's a fence gate job, so I'm going to have to go and make those. But first of all, find the old mince pies. So yeah, off to make some fence gates. So now we've got that done, we just need to whip out this sand. And that's easy enough with my trusty shovel. And that should flow down to there, which is perfect. And then I'll do the same over there. Okay, now we've got that done, we can break all of the ice underneath and then replace all of the ice with signs. And this is a ball ache. It would be easier if we could do this with fence gates, and then I wouldn't be worried about one of the signs breaking. The problem, as I've mentioned before, I'm going to have to attach a sign to this wall and then attach a sign to the sign behind it, and so on and so forth. That means any time a sign gets broken, and it probably won't, but if it does, if a sign, a creeper wanders over and blows up and breaks one sign here, it will break all of the signs all the way down. I'll have to replace them all again. But you can't waterlog a fence gate. No. Can't waterlog a fence gate. So that's that. Break all the ice and replace them all with... And the problem is I've got to break the ice below as well with a normal pick. I can't break it with a silk pick because I need it to turn into water. So that probably took me a lot longer than I'm going to care to admit to, and there were a few mistakes along the way. A couple of times when you're trying to put signs against the wall there and against another sign and everything, right down the very end on about the 4th row, I managed to place a sign on top of the sign that was already there, not on the face of it, but on top of it, which stopped the water from flowing, which meant that I had to take them all down and start again, because it stopped the flow of water. And I couldn't figure it out other than every time I tried, it was just a nightmare. Anyway, I've done it all again, and I tell you what, I was nervous right down the very end doing the last few. I thought if I did it down there, I'm just going to leave it. But I didn't, so it's working. Now, I know that there are dead spaces in the farm, all of that there. Can I sleep and get rid of this rain? Yay for me. Right, so there are a few dead spaces in the farm. If Kelp gets into those dead spaces there, it's going to stay there. There's nothing I can do about it. But in the grand scheme of things, a few lost bits of Kelp here and there is not going to make a great deal of difference when you look at how big this farm is. This is far too big. I didn't need it this big at all. Really didn't need it this big. So I'm going to fill this up with kelp, fill it up with kelp. A lot of this water in here is downward flowing water. So at the moment, if I break the kelp, it'll just stay where it is. It won't float. It only floats in... It only floats in in source blocks of water. In downward flowing water, it won't float up. So I'm going to have to wait for all of the kelp to grow before this is going to start to work. I've also put my hoppers in. There's a line of hoppers. I've put some slabs, top slabs above it. And that way, anything in the water will flow into the hopper, but anything above it on here that dies won't go into the farm. I don't need other stuff in the farm. I don't need rotting flesh or bones, or, if a zombie or a skeleton is up here, when the daylight comes and they die, they're going to drop stuff onto the the hoppers, and I don't want it going into the system because the filter will only account for kelp and ink, because I'm going to get a couple of guardians in here as well, and they'll kill any squid that are in here, and I'm going to get ink out of it as well. And all of those hoppers go down to this room here, and this is going to be all done out. But I am conscious that this video has gone on for far too long as it is, so I'm just going to quickly put some kelp at the bottom, or as much kelp as I have, and then we'll have to call it a day. So all I've got to do now is wait for this to grow up until it's made all of these blocks source blocks, and then we'll harvest it and then we'll replant. I think we've got about half of the farm done. Maybe just a little under half the farm. Anyway, so I think we'll call it a day for today, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave it a like, and if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and don't forget to check out all the other alphas. They are all fantastic. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.